Hello everybody, my name is Mateo Leon Rodriguez and welcome back to my Authortube channel. So, it's 2026 and while my main priority is still Project Medallion, I also want to jump into a new project. There's only one problem. I am really bad at making decisions, and that is why I am asking for your help. I am going to present you with 3 projects and I want you to choose one of them for me to work on. Whatever project ends up winning, that is going to be the project I'm going to work on alongside Project Medallion. I will get to the other ones, but that one takes priority. And of course, that means the winning project also gets their own project notebook, like the one I've been writing in for Project Medallion. To coincide with this video releasing, I am also releasing 3 short form videos kind of teasing what each project is. But this video is all about the finer details for each of those projects. And if you're coming from those short form videos, welcome to the best Authortube channel on YouTube. Without further ado, let's get into the projects. First up, Project Isolation. Project Isolation is a YA dystopia with a romance B-plot. The story follows Subject 0521, otherwise known as Fern. Fern has lived his entire life in Sector 51, a giant glass dome filled with toxic gas. Because of this, Fern and the other citizens wear animal-themed gas masks. Why are they animal-themed? Well, you can only express yourself so much when you have a gas mask, so that's why the government provided them with a bit of self-expression in the form of animal-themed gas masks. So you have the standard gas mask that kind of looks like the Plague Doctor gas mask, but then you also have like canine themed ones or bull ones or stuff like that. But getting back to the story for a second, they all live their lives thinking that the government is trying their best to clean the air around them and get them all to, not wear the gas mask anymore. But that's not the case. The government is actually experimenting on them and seeing how far they can go and how long they could live with this gas around them. Unfortunately for the government, the female main character and the main love interest actually comes by to check out Sector 51 and starts exposing all of their secrets. Now, I'm still working out all the details for this female main character, but essentially she comes from a utopia, a place with clean air, not a lot of work to do, so, she gets bored. She starts doing some research and eventually finds out that this place exists where people are just living amongst toxic gas. And out of boredom, one day she decides to go visit them. The story from there is that she and Fern go off to other sectors to try and warn everyone that the government is lying, and then try to come up with a plan to shut the whole thing down and make sure no one has to suffer through the toxic gas ever again. Moving on to Project Space Pets. Project Space Pets is a sci-fi romance with a mystery subplot. Now, I'm sure you're probably wondering why both of these stories involve romance in some way or another. That is because I want to challenge myself. Now, up to this point, I have mostly written, standard sci-fi or fantasy stories. But I feel like, as an author, it's important for me to expand my reach to other genres to try to improve the ones I'm currently writing. Project Space Pets follows pet shop owner Tobias Andromedus and science student Jane Soul. And Tobias's pet store is very unique because while it has earthly animals, it also has alien animals. And when the story begins, he walks into the pet store on that day and realizes that his store has been broken into. He searches and searches, and unfortunately, someone has taken one of the rare space pets. That's when he remembers a person that came into a store the day before. Someone that was very brash, and that was a student at the Planetary School of Sciences. This student was very transactional with the way that he was handling this rare space pet, and Tobias didn't like that. He wants this space pet to actually have a good home, so he said no. That is why he suspects this student of stealing this rare space pet. Now, Jane Soul, the female main character and the love interest, is also a student at the Planetary School of Sciences. Not only is Jane a top student, but she is also the only woman in the space zoology major. Even still, there is another student that gets the praises of all the other teachers. And this student is the one that actually took the rare space pet from Tobias. Through a series of events, the two of them meet, and then they both go after this particular student. I know I just keep saying students. I'm sorry, I don't have a name yet, but I will soon. But yeah, that is where their romance begins. Also, another thing to note is that both Jane and Tobias have a space pet that each one of them has that is going to be part of the story in some way. For Tobias, that is a sort of space canine that resembles a Great Dane. Now, as much as he would like to keep this pet as a companion when he goes home, for reasons I'm still trying to figure out, he can't. And that's part of the conflict of the story. Jane's space pet is a little blob creature that she found while doing some research for the zoology major. No research book that she could find even mentions this creature, so it must be very rare. And with the other rare space creature going missing from Tobias' shop, she worries that either the government or one of the poachers that's seemingly getting all these creatures is going to take that space pet away. I have a lot of fun tech planned for this sci-fi, and I really hope you enjoy all the characters and space pets in this project. Now moving on to the final project candidate, we have Project Knuckleduster. I would describe Project Knuckleduster as a dark fantasy with a revenge plot. The story follows Arthur Winwood as he tries to get revenge for the killing of his son Hope. In this story, Hope was supposed to be the chosen one. He was chosen by a council of wizards who told him that he was the chosen one, and he ended up dying anyway. And the bad guy is still alive. Ever since that day, Arthur Winwood fell into a very bad depression, but at the start of the story and throughout the story, he is fighting through that. In terms of the magic in this universe, there is magic that, Arthur could use to maybe try and kill the main bad guy. That is a bit long range, it's a bit safe, but Arthur kind of chose to purposely choose magic that's close range only, because when he finally fights the Dark One, he wants to make sure it's very personal. That's why in this project, Arthur is going to be using magical brass knuckles. So yeah, if you want to see a ton of fight scenes, a redemption arc, and a revenge arc, feel free to vote for Project Knuckleduster. So yeah, those are all the projects I have lined up for you. Again, all of these projects will be worked on. I just thought it would be a fun idea to let you guys vote for my next project. With that being said, let me know in the comments which one you're voting for. If you want to see which project wins and how I end up writing the first draft of it, feel free to subscribe. With all that being said, good luck to the projects, happy voting, and I will see you in the next video. This is Mateo Leon Rodriguez, Authortube extraordinaire. Thank you for watching my video. You could find another one there.